All right. Hey, everybody. I'm so excited for today's episode. My friend Tara LePera came back like we said she would have to. How are you, Tara?
I'm good. I'm so good. Thank you so much again for having me. I am truly honored to be here yet again.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tara, so if you don't know, Tara was on with us previously. So if you go back to listen to episode 11, she was on that episode getting ready to talk about what she was going through because she was getting ready to have her breast implant extraction surgery, explant.
Yeah,
I say
yeah,
it wrong.
excellent. Yep.
You know what I mean? So she was talking about that and kind of what she was going through and research that she had done and symptoms and things like that. So we wanted to bring her back because when did you get them out?
In March 10th, so it's a little over 6 months.
Okay, so 6 months ago, she had them out. So I wanted to make sure she came back because I know so many women have gone through this before, and a lot of people were watching this on YouTube too. So I just wanted to make sure to bring her back so she could give us an update, let us know how she is doing, how she's feeling, if she's noticed any changes, which I think she probably has, but just give you all an update. So if any of you are going through that as well, then, you kind of can see her journey and her story. And maybe that's kind of, where you are too. But before she starts, I do have to read because Tara, not only did she have her breast explant surgery done, she does a lot of other amazing things. But she is the founder of Self Love and Success. She's a motivational speaker. She's a self-love coach. She's a manifesting mama, and she's also a #1 best-selling co-author.
Yay. And #2 book is coming out October 26th. It goes live on Amazon.
Ooh, and what's that book going to be about?
Legacy Elite. So it's only a few of us. Normally in the books that I do with Kate Butler, it's 30 women, 30 stories in the book. So a while ago, she had put out like this survey to all the women that have, published with her over the years and said, share a little bit about somebody in any of my series that have kind of like really hit home with you with their story and where they are today. And we all nominated these women. Well, I was one of those women that were nominated. I know, I was totally blown away. And it's all God. It's all God's doing. So I am one of the women, and it's only 20 women in this book. And we get to do a little bit more than a chapter. It's a lot bigger. And then we also get to do the first book ever on Audible. And it's kind of like everybody picks their own stories, right? So this story that I'm sharing is definitely different than the story that I shared in Women Who Rise. That was a little shorter, but it was like, come together. And this one is more about like my timeline in my life of how, when I came into this world and how we go on our parents' journey, and then kind of how we fall into our life, and truly what is the plan that God really is showing us the whole time. Because through life, this is what we were just talking about before we go. We're trying to figure out, who are we? We try something, it may not be for us, and sometimes we'll think, oh my God, I failed, but we didn't, because it was just a stepping stone to the next part of our life where we're supposed to be. So it's kind of just a breakdown of my life into where I am today. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I love it. Congratulations. So
Thank
exciting.
you.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely exciting.
Yeah. So let's start with your surgery, like how it went. Tell us all the details and how you're doing now 6 months later.
Yeah, of course. So breast explant removal has become so much more over the past, decade. I think that women started really understanding and linking that, I'm having these symptoms since getting my breast implants, and I feel like I have this, I feel like I have that. And the numbers just go up. Women would go to the doctors, and then doctors would have no answers for them. Like they couldn't link anything. Research over the years had started really linking a lot of stuff. Now the FDA actually has a black warning box on the breast implant, box, like, hey, this, and this can happen to you if you get these put into your body.
Okay.
So a lot of women started being like, oh my God, this is happening to me. So they would journal, they would link it, and then there would be doctors that would allow them and follow them, like, okay, let's do this. Or other doctors were like, no, I'm sorry, I have no idea what this is about, So it's really finding the right person that truly understands you and trusts you. And in today's world now, there's more explants, I'm so happy to say, more explants than there are implants.
Wow.
Because women are finding out that it's all linked, and it's crazy. It'll start sometimes immediately with women. So when I first got mine in, I didn't know it then, but 3 weeks later, I started getting these spots all over my body, which is called granuloma annulare. I had no idea what it was. I'm like, what is this? Like, what's going on? It would start on my feet, it would go on my hands, my legs. And I had it biopsied, and they said it's GA. It's either caused by trauma of your body, or it's caused by stress, like something your body is showing you that something's wrong. Totally threw it off. Didn't even think about it. And then all these other things, I would start waking up, my eyes swollen shut, start becoming allergic to different things. It was just very weird. So our body, and it's not only breast implants, right? It could be like the IUD. These young girls, they get the IUD, they start gaining weight, they're getting acne all over their body. They're, starting to notice like different things in their body. Again, you have a foreign object in your body, and your body's trying to force it out or figure out like something's going on. What am I doing? So it can cause underlying health issues, autoimmune deficiencies, inflammation, chronic fatigue. It's like all these things, which also can come from other things. But when you have the breast implants in and you start noticing these things, it's definitely something that you should talk to your doctor too. So I've had my breast implants since 11 years exact to the month when I had them taken out, which is crazy. And I didn't notice it at first. It took many, many years for me to start linking things together. And again, this all falls into that self-love factor of what I, stand behind and what I believe and what I've grown into. Because, I always looked at myself as a young girl, even though I was an older woman. I looked at myself as a young girl, and I'm like, something doesn't match up here. And I always thought in my head, well, if I have bigger boobs that match my butt, then maybe I'll be taken more seriously and I'll look like a woman.
Yeah.
That is truly how I felt.
Yeah.
And I worked in the corporate world at this time. And I don't know if a lot of you that are watching have actually read my story in Women Who Rise. There is a story of my life and where I, what I did, the types of jobs that I did and everything in the nightlife, that you would have thought that I would have got these boobs then. And I didn't. It took me to getting in the real corporate world, thinking like, this is it. I'm in the six-figure world. I'm, wearing suits. I'm being taken seriously. That is when I was like, nobody's taking me seriously. I'm going to go get my boobs done.
Wow.
And I'm going to feel like I'm a grown woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, all God's lessons, that, and it took me to finally over these years saying, I'm noticing all this stuff and I love me for me. Why do I still have these in? Like, if I take these out and I start to notice that these symptoms are going away, which they have, there are some that still linger, but it does take a while for your body to detox, that I can do this. Like, I am that true self-love mama. I am going to love myself from the inside out. I'm going to go back to the way God made me, and I'm getting these out of my body. And I am so proud of my scars. I had like a lift. And what they have to do is some women, they don't get lifts. Some women just get them taken out because they have enough fat and tissue around them to where they'll just stay there. Where I didn't, I was like a negative A when I got them. So all the years of having kids and, expanding and going in and out, I had decided to do a lift where they like cut you from here all the way up. And then from here to here, because they have to remove your areola, your nipple. And then they have to replace it to make it back where it is. So that I have like a happy face scar. They're fading. It's 6 months. They're fading, and it's going to take some time to fade. But that way I'm back to my old, younger, perky self, and I keep telling people, it's like I came back home to my body. Yeah. That's how I feel, that I'm like finally who I was supposed to be. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally.
And again, we go through these journeys finding out who we are, and we do silly things. We sometimes become an alcoholic, or we take on drugs, or we fall into bad relationships, and we follow these patterns. And then I feel like we finally get to this age that we're just like, enough is enough. Like, this is me, this is who I'm going to love. And that's it. And that's where I am. So I'm very grateful that I said yes to me. Like it just, it gets me a little emotional that it took me so long, but I wasn't ready back then. I don't think I would have felt, I probably would have been disappointed in myself if I would have taken them out then, because I did like them, but they didn't like me.
Yeah.
They didn't like me at all. And they caused all these different health issues. But to see where I am today, I'm so proud of myself, truly proud of myself for doing it. And anybody that is listening to this, and just feels lost, or I have a lot of people that reach out to me privately through Instagram and Facebook, and from my reels or any of my TikTok things that I've been doing, my videos regarding my explant, journey and surgery. Women are like, I'm afraid my husband isn't going to love me anymore, or I'm afraid that I'm not going to be this. If it takes your husband to love you because you have bigger boobs or breast implants, there's an issue there. Like, we need to really dig in a little deeper into who you are, where your self-love is. It's about you.
Yeah.
This is your body. This is your health. It's not about what other people look at you and perceive of you and what they want you to look like. It's about you. So I've had some really deep conversations over the past few months with some of these women. And I've also complete strangers help them through their journey and finding doctors and helping them. They'll call me when they get home from their surgery and then say, I'm home. I did it. I feel amazing.
Aww.
And I get I cry. I'll call them. It's just something, again, that God does, not only for you, but to link you with other women. So it's just been an incredible journey.
Oh my goodness. So after you got them taken out, so like 6 months ago, tell us about like that process, like for you. And I know like you have them to show us. I don't know if you want to show them to us, but I mean, she was like, I have them. I was like, they let you take your breast implants home with you?
Yeah. So you do have to sign a waiver, right? Because they do have to clean them up and all that. And then they get, taken out, whatever. And then you are brought home with them, and they give them to you in this bin. Every doctor's different. It's like a clamp bin. It has my name on it, all my info, and then they're in here. So it's just crazy to see, like, you can even see stuff floating in them.
Wow.
The other day when I did a video, look, you could see, like, I don't even know what's in there.
Yeah.
To know that these are what made me sick. And look, one of them has lost their size. It was evaporating.
Oh my goodness.
Look at, I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah.
But
you can see a little bit.
Yeah. Even if you weigh them, they're completely different. Now, when you get your card and you get them put in, they tell you what cc's, and mine were exact. Like, I had the exact amount of cc's in mine. And I don't now. They weren't now because they were seeping into my body. Wow. And it doesn't matter if you have the gummy bear ones. It doesn't matter if you had the textured ones. A lot of them they pulled off the shelves. But these, regardless, it's silicone. Like, the base is made of silicone. I get that that's saline water inside, but it's the fact that this part is what could absorb into your body.
Right.
And again, any foreign object, it doesn't matter what it is, but a lot of women which have went through illnesses or breast implant or breast cancer or something that needed them, they were also noticing when they would go and get them after, getting, their breast taken off, they were noticing more signs with getting breast implants than they were with having cancer. Yeah. There's so much research out there. It's crazy. And I would never stop a person from saying, don't do it. I just ask to do your research, talk to the doctor. And another factor too, doctors will say that they're not meant to be in there from after 10 years, which again, I scheduled my appointment at my 10-year mark to have them removed, not replaced, removed. But it took me a year to get into that appointment because there's more explants today than there are implants. Yeah, women are taking them out more. So I had to wait an entire year. But I just asked, do your research, talk to a doctor, talk to friends, talk to women, look up the hashtags, breast implant illness, breast explant. I mean, there's so many different hashtags, and maybe I can give them all to you and you could put them in here. Sure. And there's private Facebook groups. There's so many people out there that be able to give you and update you on, what are the factors, what could possibly happen. And not everybody sees the results, sees like the impact in the illness. Some women can have them for the 10 years, get them replaced, and then notice it after they get them replaced. Everybody's body is different. Yeah. Mine immediately started noticing it. So
tell us about, like, how did you feel after? So like, what signs and symptoms have you seen that have gotten better for you? Like, obviously this is your personal story about you, but like, tell us what you've noticed for yourself.
Yeah. So that that same day, I took before and after pictures of my face. And I also was doing videos on my stories and all that. And you can physically see that my face was glowing from being dim and just dry and tired eyes. I woke up that next morning and took a picture. My eyes were not puffy and swollen like they normally were. The inflammation had gone down. And so my GA, which is on my foot, right, it's starting to spread, which it's dissipating. So people that know anything about GA, granuloma annulare, when you see spots, they're tiny, they're red, but when they start to spread, they start to dissipate into your body. And I have one left and it's going away. I can't promise that none of them will ever not come back. I don't know if you can see my foot, but I'll try to get up here for the video people. Like, see how
Oh
big
yeah,
it is
I see
now?
it.
Yeah, it was itty bitty, but now it's spreading and getting lighter. You can see the center of it, which is my skin color now, which is
Oh my
crazy.
goodness.
But your body doesn't heal overnight. It is going to take some time. It's only 6 months. It could take even years, you know, but it's more for me is the chronic fatigue, the dry eye. So I would have issues with swallowing. Everything would like feel like it was getting stuck. And again, I had this imaging done. It's called thermography imaging, which I think I told you about in the
Yep.
last one. It's a heat radiated imaging of your body. And it showed all inflamedness in my neck. I went to a cardiologist and was like, what is going on? And he did all this stuff. And he's like, Tara, your heart's good. Your everything is good. It's inflammation in your body. So I do plan on going back and getting like a before image of the thermography. But it showed all my lymph nodes, everything. You saw those images, right?
Yeah.
Everything, all chronic sinusitis, all right here for all those years. And I wasn't diagnosed with chronic sinusitis until about 6 months after I got my breast implants in. So for me, it's the inflammation, the chronic fatigue, and my joints. I think my joints were probably the worst. I was taking anything that I could, like any kind of collagen, liquid collagen, anything that would help me. It would subside it. But to see, you know, the difference now since having them out, I would put my feet on the ground, Melissa, in the morning, and it would feel like sledgehammers were just hitting my feet, going and radiating up into my knees, you name it, everywhere. So being able to get up out of bed with not an issue and no pain, that's another thing. So there are other lingering things like the IBS and all that stuff. But again, that's gut health, you know? And so any symptom that I ever had was once I had the breast implants. But again, you get older, other things link together. But since then, I've been feeling amazing. I'm excited for everything that has escaped, but there still are different things that are just lingering that will take some time. So you have to truly detox your body. You have to allow it to detox.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you had them in for 11 years. So there was a lot of like, quote unquote, harm done. And your body was like trying to fight them for 11 years. And so, so it's been 6 months and that's great. Like what's starting. And so, you know, the next, you know, couple years, hopefully you just feel amazing. And yes, like, you know, there's the age thing and getting older and all that stuff, but age is just a number, but you're
age is totally just a number.
I know. But I know you love to like work out too. Like you work on your garage and you're active with your family. And so
I had to slow down
so
I couldn't do the weights anymore because it was affecting my spine and my back, all the inflammation of everything that was so in pain. But now I'm going back slowly into the lifting. But I mean, anybody that's my friend that knows lifting was my life. It was my everything. But the inflammation just took over. And it just felt like I was living, I'm 44, and I felt like I was living in an 80-plus-year-old body every day when I wake up. So that right there, to know that, again, I'm back in my body, my age, how I'm supposed to feel is what I'm very excited about.
Well, and then whatever happens, you're like, well, it's my body. So like how I'm supposed to be feeling, or, okay, like now I can look at, okay, these are the symptoms. Like, what can I look at? But I don't have anything foreign in there. So like, let's look and address that. You always talk about self-love. And I know we talk about that too, but you talked about it a little bit too. So talk to us about like self-love and what you have going on for that and how you really started to realize like, this is like the ultimate form of self-love for you, mama.
Yeah, it truly is. I mean, so I have a routine that I do, and it has, you know, grown through the years. And, you know, we always start with one thing, you know, for us. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm too busy. I can't do this. I can't do that. If you truly love yourself and you're ready to like start digging deep and getting your life in a shift to where you want to go, if you feel stuck, you have to do something for yourself. 100%. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I don't care if you're looking in the mirror and you're talking to yourself. I don't care if you're bullet pointing little notes to you. Something has got to change, right? And again, you can't just throw a whole bunch of things at you and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start journaling. I'm going to start, calling people instead of texting people. It's too much. It's overwhelming. You're going to get like overwhelmed and you're going to shut back down and you're not going to wind up doing anything. You're going to find yourself right back where you were. So you have to give yourself one thing. I don't care what it is, whatever the easiest thing is that you could do. It could be the second you open up your eyes in the morning, you could say a prayer, you could do, meditation, whatever that looks like for you, do something like that. That could, before you're even up out of bed. Me, it's taken me some time because I have littles they're getting older. I've always wanted to do this for myself. I was never a morning person growing up, but I'm now a morning person. That also comes with age, I think. And I say my prayers, but I get up out of bed an hour before my kids. Sometimes my kids will say, Mom, where are you going? And then they'll come down too. But they know I feed them and it's mommy's time. Like I'm reading the Bible verse or my women who's calling verse, or I'm doing something in my self-love manifesting journal, the one that I created myself. So I'm doing something important for me before the entire world starts coming at me and stuff. Because without that calmness to me, without me pouring my heart out and saying, okay, this is how I feel like my day is going to go. This is what I'm going to welcome in. I need this calmness. I need this direction. If not, it's a hot mess. Let's just say, because then I'm yelling and my kids are like, Mom, what's going on with you? Like, it's too much. Yeah. So if I want to be the best mom, the best Tara, the best wife, the best friend, whatever, I physically need to focus on me. And sometimes it's only 10 minutes. Sometimes it winds up being 45 minutes if I'm like journaling out my heart. But once you get into a routine, yes, I have more things that I do now because I can, but I did not start like that. My day just goes so much better. I'm such more of a happier person. And my kids, they know that, they see that. They're old enough now that they know mommy needs to get her stuff done.
Yeah, it's so important. And like
I
have like ebbed and flowed. Like I was in such a great routine. And then I feel like, being home during the pandemic and then being totally like out of schedule and sequence and my kids leaving the house and me leaving the house. It was like, yeah, okay. It was harder. Like everything I feel like it was harder during that time and just trying to recenter. And that was when I was really like, what do I want? Who am I? Like, what do I need? What do I even like? Do I even like lifting anymore? Like that was really time for me doing like more self-discovery. And so, now, coming out of it, hopefully staying out of it and being out of it and trying to get back to whatever we want our new future to look like. I'm not going to say go back to normal because I don't feel like where we were was normal, like in that hustle like mentality. And like, I have to be busy every second of the day. And I give myself no time and space. I'm just like, I'm so over that. And I know like I fed into that for so long. And it was just like, I feel like was the destruction of like the woman, in my opinion, because it was like this hustle. And there was no time to stop and just be, right? And so I feel like the pandemic,
even if it's just breathing and being quiet, you don't have to say anything.
Yes.
Your body feels what's going on inside. It feels the anxiety, the stress, the depression, it feels it all. So your body is physically going to show you symptoms of illness and you're going to think you're sick or you're tired or whatever it is, because your brain is nonstop and you can't catch up with yourself,
Yeah. So it is like, I'm still in that, like, ooh, like, what do I really like? Because I love to get up and meditate. Like that is still part of it. And I have like a daily thing that I like to read. Like sometimes I'm journaling, sometimes I'm not, sometimes so I'm just like,
have to be every day.
Yeah. I'm just like, like it's okay. Like I'm doing what I feel like my body needs this morning. This morning after like when my kids went to school, the other one was still home. I was like, I'm going in the basement running before Pilates. And so it's just like, I feel like we really need to listen to ourselves and our body and what we need. So like, yes, there's a morning routine, but sometimes if it's like, but I'm called to do something else that is still for me, like, then it's still okay because that's still me time. And I think that is what is so important, for women to just realize is that really listening to yourself and your body and what you need in that moment, in that day, is just so powerful.
Yeah, and your body will tell you. The messages will tell you, if you could be still for a few minutes and just be, and then sometimes I like to have like my day before already scheduled out so I know what I'm doing. Because if I find that I don't know what I'm doing in the day and I'm already in the day in the moment, then I do tend to get overwhelmed and then I don't get everything
Mhm.
done. And sometimes I'll notice that I'll set reminders or little, like I'll ask Alexa to set off for like 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes, boom, I'm cleaning.
Yep.
30 minutes, I'm working out. 30, it does, you need those reminders. If not, you'll look at that clock and be like, where did the time go? What am I doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, and giving yourself grace. Not every day is gonna be like that, but love the days when you're loving on yourself. It's so important, because those days that are, you hit the ground running and you're full of like, oh my God, you just have to literally give gratitude for something that you did the other day or a week ago and be like, I did this. I'm a good person. Today is just a little crazy. It doesn't mean it's all going to go bad. We'll just get through this day, but just, it's not always about the daily gratitudes in that day, in that moment. It's also about what you did, what you've accomplished, a feeling that you remember being in the car with the kids and singing your heart out, dancing in the living room. Remembering those things that you did will bring happiness to that day when you're like off.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I love this. Like, I know we can like talk
Oh,
forever.
forever. Yeah.
We can't stop. We won't stop. So you have to
Yeah.
come back a third time. Is there anything you haven't shared with the listeners out there today that is maybe on your heart? I know you always are like, whatever I'm feeling today, whatever this message is coming through. So is there anything maybe you haven't shared that you feel you need to share today?
Yes, I can, because I don't think I shared this with you on the last podcast. I did mention this in the book that I am currently, that I just submitted my last final chapter. So it's approved and going out October 26th. But the darkness that I had for quite some time. And I'm not saying that it's gone, it's still there. Yeah, you may look at me and think that I'm happy-go-lucky and I'm a mom of four and married to my husband, Mark, and that I got my shit together, but not every day I don't.
Mhm.
And that's why I stick to loving on me, because if I didn't love me, I would be a complete hot mess. I would be probably in a much darker headspace than I ever was. So our move cross country from New Jersey to here, exactly 2 years ago, September 17th, we just hit 2 years that we're living here in Arizona.
Wow.
And again, sometimes you need to follow a journey because you don't know where you're supposed to be, and God knows your movement, your placement, everything. And sometimes we're not meant to be in a space for so long because the next thing is coming, it's just kind of like a meteor. And so doing that whole entire trip cross country 2 years ago, I was dealing with postpartum from having Hudson, right? Hudson's only 3, he just turned 3. And I have to remember this, that my body was going through these changes. It was the worst postpartum that I've ever had with any of my children. And I do talk about it to a lot of people, my family, my friends know, because there were some dark things in my head that, Melissa, if I even told you, you wouldn't even believe. And it's scary because to know that other women are currently going through this or have gone through this, that maybe didn't make it through or didn't know which way to go or who to talk to, you have to just say it. You just have to get out there and tell people that you're in a dark space. So I was dealing with postpartum. I was dealing with the scare and the terrifyingness of COVID at the
Mhm.
same time.
Yeah.
And I was dealing with having, we were going through the adoption of our one son, Charlie. All of this is exactly at the same time. And then knowing we're putting our house up, trying to keep it clean during COVID, if who's going to come in and give us their germs,
Yeah.
that we're renting an RV and driving cross country for 6 days to a state where I only knew one person.
Mm.
So needless to say, all of that in my brain carried to my entire body. And it was the most scariest time in my life. And it took me 2 years to physically get over it, because even when we got here, my husband left for 7 months.
Yeah.
And that was the most scariest time in my life. There are days that I would cry myself to sleep. I would tell my daughter, I don't know if I want to wake up. And I'm so sorry that I was telling her that it was so scary to know that it was such a dark space, and I I give her so much credit for being my daughter and helping me and supporting me while my husband was gone, because it was not easy. But I look at me now and give myself gratitude and grace, because if I just got through those past 2 years of those scary, scary moments that I did not think that I would cry every single night to bed and just pray to God, like just to get me through the day, get these thoughts out of my head. Yeah, I'm not a person of medication. I used to be. I'm a person of prayer, and I believe that we are strong women. God made us women to have the babies. God made us women for a reason. We are meant to carry and do a lot of stuff that I could do anything. If I just went through what I did these past 2 years, I can physically do anything. Nothing will terrify me. And I am just grateful for who I am. I'm grateful that God had put the women in my life to be able to guide me and help me and make me strong. And just for who he made me, that I physically would tell myself, you've got this, Tara.
Yeah.
That self-talk to yourself. If you allow this stuff in your head to just linger and go deeper and deeper and darker, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to allow that. It's going to happen. If you physically stop it, like Mel Robbins says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up, go, have a different, mindset, do something different, distract yourself. It physically will. Mel Robbins has actually helped me too, especially during that time. I would listen to Audible and her books, and it would just give me that motivation. Yes, I can do this. I'm going to change my mind. And it's an incredible thing to just look back at, to know where you've been from and where you're going. And again, I can't stop either. We're busy mamas, and I feel like our self, if we keep, doing the next program, the next book, it just helps us with our brain. If I sit still and I have nothing to do, which I do like these moments, we just came back from camping. I like to look at the bonfire, peace and quiet. We had no service, no cell phone. That's a beautiful thing. If I had that all the time and I was watching TV and laying on the couch, it would not be a pretty thing.
Yeah.
No, that's not how my brain or my body works. So my message to women out there is, anybody that's going through postpartum or still can't get out of the funk of COVID, or is in an unhappy relationship and isn't loving yourself, or you just don't maybe even know what's going on, but you've got these thoughts and these feelings in your body and your head, you have to reach out to somebody. You have to just tell somebody, you're not crazy. It's not just you. You're not alone. We all go through this in some sort of form in our life. And it is completely normal. As much as you don't want to think it's normal, it's so normal.
Yeah.
And I'm here for them. If they want to talk, if they want to pour their heart out, if they need guidance and direction, it would just be my complete honor to be able to do that for them, because it's, one person to another, if you've been through it, any kind of advice that you can give on to the next woman is just, it's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It truly is a beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with me and the women listening too, because it has been a really hard time, and I'm sure that there are tons of people listening that can relate to some aspect of what you shared. So thank you. And my last question is always like, what do you love about yourself? And I feel like you just shared like 10 things that you're just so grateful for.
I love that I don't stop. That's what I
Yeah.
love. I love that I know that I can physically get through anything. I love that God has made me that woman that I know I'm strong. I absolutely, am I allowed to go in my bed and cry and have a bad day? Absolutely. And I'm going to take that day and I'm going to soak that friggin' day up. But that next day, it's not happening. It's like hitting the ground running. I need to do something where I'm loving on me or I'm loving on somebody else. I love to love on other people. It's truly where my heart is. It's where God made me. Whether I'm saying something to my kids, or I love to call people. I love voice messages. Just sending a text is so, it's so boring, You need to hear somebody's voice.
Yeah.
And, and strangers. I reach out to strangers sometimes, people that I'm linked to, and just give them praise for what they're doing, because you don't know, even though you may see it, it looks like a pretty picture, You don't know what's behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Don't ever judge a book by its cover. If you think that somebody looks like they're perfect, if you're feeling a calling of just sending them a message or whatever that is, I promise you they need it.
Yeah.
I promise you they
I
need it.
totally agree with that
Yeah.
100%. Like, cause you never know what they're going through or
Nope.
what struggle, or you see them working hard and doing all these things, but it's like, yeah, but what's happening behind the scenes?
Behind
So
the scenes to get there to, yep,
I
that
totally agree with
heartache,
that.
that dark place. Oh my God, it's so scary. Truly, truly
Yeah.
scary.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. How can people find you? Because I know like you're gonna have so many people wanting to reach out to you and connect.
Yeah. So Facebook, which is Tara Ann LePera. And then they can also find me on Instagram, which I think is Tara Ann LePera, but it's self-love and success.
Okay.
It's both. It's like in my, name.
Oh, okay. So it's not like two separate pages, it's just one.
No, one page together. So it's either or. You can find me through
Yeah.
both of them. And then you can also find me on my website, which is selfloveandsuccess.com. You can find me on, what is it, TikTok now. I don't do a lot of TikToks, but I like it. And Raylan loves to do the TikToks, which is Tara Ann 827,
Okay.
which is my birthday, August 27th.
Okay.
It's like my jam number.
I love it.
Yeah, Amazon, if you need any of my books, Women Who Rise is on Amazon. Legacy Elite, the new book coming out October 26th, will be on Amazon. And then
Will there be a link for those like on your website? Like, is there a link on
and
your
you can find
website?
my journal
Okay, cool.
on my website. Everything's going to be on my website,
Okay.
which is Tara Ann selfloveandsuccess.com.
Yeah, that's cool. So then they can go there and like find how to connect with you, like all the things that you sell and all that kind of stuff too.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's always such a gift to have your energy in this space and to share, from your heart, your message and what's going on with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being my beautiful friend and always lighting up a space in a room. And I just absolutely love and adore you and truly, truly grateful for our friendship. Always have,
Aw.
always will be.
I take that and receive it, my friend.
Yay, good. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tara.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.